afternoon, Lawler. I'm Adya.
And I'm Sahita, and today we're going to be talking about Women's History Month, Junior Bass, and the orchestra and choir UILs.
Let's not forget about the new segment we have coming up at the end of our broadcast. But first, let's talk about Women's History Month. Every March, we recognize the importance of women in our history.
Now let's go to Dia and Chaitna to learn more about it.
Hi, welcome to Women's History Month. I'm Dia.
I'm Chaitna.
In this segment, we're going to be talking about the history and accomplishments of women,
the roles and significance that they play.
Stay tuned.
For example, Kamala Harris. She was the first female vice president with African and Indian heritage. Beyoncé, who is regarded as one of the biggest female singers in the music industry. Another important woman in history would be Susan B. Anthony. She was a women's rights activist who fought for women's suffrage and to end slavery. These women have become icons for young girls and several more. But there are many unrecognized women as well who have had major accomplishments. Let's get in with Dia.
Hedy Lamarr was an actress and an inventor. Her invention, the secret communication system, was used during World War II. It was used so the enemies could not decode any messages that were sent. This technology was later adopted by the United States to help in wars. Patsy Mink was the first woman of color to be elected into the House of Representatives in 1964. She was the daughter of two second-generation Japanese immigrants. Henrietta Lacks was a tobacco farmer for most of her life. She was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctor that she went to had taken a sample of her cells without her consent. Soon after, she passed. But researchers found that her cells had kept reproducing, making them immortal. Her cells had led to so many scientific discoveries regarding the growth of cells.
This concludes our segment. Make sure that you appreciate women and the history and obstacles that they have faced.
And make sure to appreciate women at our own school, including front office workers, our principal, our librarian, cafeteria ladies, the janitors, teachers, and coaches.
Thank you, Dia and Chaitna, for telling us more about how women have contributed to our world.
That was really a work of art. Speaking of art, here at Lawler, the art students are getting ready for Junior Bass, which is a competition where their art gets evaluated.
Let's go to Raphael to learn more about it.
My name is Danica Rukala, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Ananya.
My name is Ashi.
Because of theater, choir, orchestra, and band UILs, the months of February, March, and April have been extremely exhausting for most Lawler students. By the way, congratulations on all the wins they had in the UILs. However, what about the art students? Let me introduce you to Junior Bass, an annual competition where all our art students create and submit artwork for jurors to evaluate their work. Here, jurors tell them about their strengths and weaknesses in their artwork. As I've interviewed a couple of art students participating in this competition, I found that Junior Bass is just as exhausting as the other official UILs. So I've gathered pieces from these interviews to show you a glance at the experiences our Lawler art students had in Junior Bass. Let's begin. On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful would you rate Junior Bass and why?
7. Because it wasn't like super stressful, but it was definitely like a lot of work and pressure, especially like with the intent form due and everything.
Well, meeting the deadline was kind of hard, and like coming up with an idea at the beginning, it was stressful for a lot of people, so maybe like a 5.
So what motivated you to participate in Junior Bass?
Well, I'm a normally very competitive person, so the idea of an art competition was like really intrigued me, and well, I just like art in general.
It was probably like the experience of getting interviewed by like a juror, like a real artist. And then later on I wanted to continue because I wanted to see what it would look like at the end, like my art.
What's your favorite and least favorite part about participating in Junior Bass?
I mean, I like doing the artwork in general and like seeing how much I get ranked on it, like all the feedback I get. But I hate the deadline. I suck at deadlines because I'm such a procrastinator.
So my favorite is like the process and like the ideas and like how you get to experiment with everything. My least favorite was the intent form. It was just like really stressful.
Lastly, would you consider doing Junior Bass next year?
Because it gave me a chance to like try art in the real world and how people might think, so I can just improve more and more when it comes to art.
Yes, I would definitely do junior bass again because I like experimenting with new styles.
Yeah, I would do it again. Well, it was really fun, and there are a few things that I did wrong this time that I want to try doing differently another time. Using a different kind of paper, because the paper that I used had bumps on it. It was more meant for painting. The next time I'll have to finalize the media before I actually pick out paper.
I can't wait to see what they come up with. Along with our arts program, our fine arts have been working really hard as well. Our orchestra and choirs have been practicing for a competition called UIL. It's district-wide, and they're judged and evaluated by experts in the fields. They've been practicing really, really hard to represent our school. Let's have Sasha tell us more about their achievements.
UIL is a region-wide competition where a group gathers together and performs 3 pieces in addition to sight reading. Once they perform those pieces, they receive a rating. After that, they are judged based on their sight reading abilities. Sight reading is where they have to read a new piece of music that none of them have ever seen before. Our Lawler orchestras did an amazing job. All 3 orchestras won sweepstakes. And guess what? It wasn't just our Lawler orchestras that won sweepstakes. Let's give a shout out to our Lawler choir, who also won sweepstakes. Thank you, Lawler Fine Arts, for making our school proud.
I think first and foremost, we divide and conquer the work. There's a lot that has to get done to put together a UIL trip, as well as the music. And then also, we drink lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Try to make sure there's a good work-life balance. Go home sometimes at an earlier time than we would in other parts of the year, just to make sure we get some rest.
Yeah, I would say after we've gotten all that work done to plan it, we take the time getting closer to UIL to go home a little earlier.
My UIL experience was pretty nerve-wracking at first.
It was fun connecting with my friends out of school.
And it was stressful because we knew that we tried hard, and if we messed up, it would cost our whole orchestra.
Overall, it was a great experience, and I'm glad I got to experience it with my choir friends.
Absolutely. I mean, paid off, all the hard work.
And I mean, really, a lot of times UIL gets a reputation of being like this pinnacle point of the year, this what we're always aiming for, but I think you and I have both learned over time that all performances should have a high standard, and so overall everything is an upward slope, not just reaching for UIL and then...
Yeah, it's not like fall concert, winter concert, UIL. It's like we're preparing for it all year long.
And year to year.
And year to year, and it's kind of just another concert, but it feels good when you get a trophy for it, so, yeah.
Congrats to our orchestras and choirs on their performances. Now it's time for our newest addition to the broadcast. What goes on through the minds of our Lawler students? Let's find out. On to you, Rafael and Johannes.
Every day we pass by students in the halls, with everyone going their own separate way for some purpose, some reason. However, we never truly realize what's going on in their heads, and we assume it's no big deal and there's no problem with them. However, a lot goes on with everyone else, more than we realize. So Raphael and I decided to look into unveiling the truth behind everyone. Here is what our Lawler students are thinking, what's going on in their heads, and you're going to be surprised at what you hear.
I pushed a kid in the hall because I thought they were a friend of mine, but then I realized I pushed a random kid. Roaring in the halls for sure.
OMG, when I liked this guy in 7th grade, I emailed Coach Groob and asked her to put me in a group with him. If I were to rule the world, everyone would wear green hats.
I would like to banish all tall people so short people can live in peace. Have you ever fallen asleep in class? Let's see what our Lawler students got to say. So first a 54% said yes, a 21% said no, and lastly a 25% said almost. So one time I was bored, so I searched up how to fake a migraine on Google. How could I actually benefit from this?
I searched up isopods versus roly-polies. Don't ask why. Okay, hear me out. Dogs dressed as Marvel superheroes. When a dark joke was made and it didn't hit. That one was pretty awkward.
Saying yes ma'am to a guy teacher. Probably hitting my PE teacher straight in the face.
Rohan's face? What is this?
And that's all for today's broadcast.
Make sure to follow our Instagram, like and subscribe to our YouTube, and keep up with our website.
Don't forget to watch our podcasts coming soon.
That's all for today.
Bye!